Okay. Yeah, I thought I got rid of those costs before we started. Okay. Well, hello and welcome to the stream today. Um, whether you're coming here live or coming here on video on demand, welcome. Today we're going to be continuing on with the Cutemark Crusaders Clubhouse. I've been tweaking some of the lighting settings while off stream, off live, whatever you want to call it. So I added some other settings into here to help tweak the coloring on this a little bit because I noticed it was a little overly desaturated. So and not as bright as I wanted it to be. So I added this, excuse me, setting here that allows me to change the brightness all I want. So I can brighten it up just a tad and up saturation just a little bit to help it pop more. Though it has lightened the shadow a little bit here, so I think I can go in here and maybe tweak that a little bit here. Just bring this down some more. That looks close enough. And just do a little test. I'm going to grab the light, the lamp here. Move it around, see how the shadow behaves. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Now let's zoom out a little bit here. I've also added similar settings to how the shadow portion works on these parts of the light here. Because I've gone in here and added this to the shadow section. Because this is the setup. This is what controls the mask. I'm just going to call this the mask. Because this masks the difference between the regular color or the medium light highlights, the medium, I think it's, I can't remember what like the medium is what I keep thinking of, but basically it's the normal brightness of everything compared to a highlight and a shadow, and that's what this input is, and this bottom input is the shadow. So it takes the color of the input, darkens it down, and then this desaturates it by 1 and then passes it on to the mixer. And the mixer's what is actually generating the color mask. And this is the instructions to the mixer how to how to mask the two and give me control without it having to do anything weird. So if I remove this, you just kind of get a 50-50 blend, so I can either get all shadow or all mid-tone. That's the word I was looking for. So I can either do either or on this, or a mixture of both. So what this does is it gives us a mask, something to control how the mix happens. So all of this tells this how to split the two into shadow and light. And I don't have any highlights because so far I haven't seen any highlights in the show, really, because there's either normal, there's either mid-tone or shadow. I have not seen any highlights except for maybe inside the lamps. And that's pretty easy to control. And if I ever needed to add a highlight, this setup probably could be configured to do that. Like I would probably just add another one of these mixing nodes and use the output from the masking into that mixer to control the highlights. And I think I would actually put that mixer after this one. So it would go here. So it would be shadows generated first, then highlights, and the midtone gets passed through both of them unharmed. Okay, so I think that's everything lighting wise for now, and I can use this in the future. There's still some lighting stuff I want to set up that I haven't figured out how to do yet in, excuse me, this version of Blender. In this version of Blender, I should say in the previous versions of Blender I worked with, in the old rendering engine, you could actually control what objects got light from what lights. So you could actually say these objects only got light from this source. So you could control stuff like um, in the show, a lot of the times different objects actually have different lighting sources to give them their look. It's not all one um, light environment. I don't think I have it here. Let's see. Nope. 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 I don't see the reference I had loaded in. So I am going to find that reference. There it is. How does this keep getting removed? Okay. Yeah, if you look at this, the light that's coming from the lamp, if you actually build this inside the computer, which I've done, it actually has the light much higher. Like if you see here how the highlight or the midtone is actually high on the wall object. To get this look inside of here, I actually have to create a new light source that's in the middle of the room and a lot lower. And it also is slightly different per wall, too. Okay, that's interesting. I also just noticed that also in one of the earlier builds of the room inside the show itself, the legs of this little table are brown. And a lot of these objects you don't see in the show a lot, like this big cup. I haven't seen it in any of the references I have. I'm going to double check because, being ADHD, you kind of get blind to certain things. So it would be the side shot. Yep, I am not seeing any one of those cups here. Okay. And there's also this wood table here that I don't think shows up again. Though I do notice it's a little bit of color texture inside of here that I might want to add. It really depends on how often it shows up, because I'm basically basing my textures on what is most commonly seen in the show. If the object only shows up for like one episode, I'm probably not going to build it in this setup. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Ish. Yeah, let's see. Just looking for other objects on the inside that I might want to build before I go out and start texturing the outside. I'm not really seeing much else that's consistent between shots, so I think that's pretty good. And I just remembered that I need to actually grab this and actually rotate the camera around so I can see the other side. Let's see, which view? This view? This view? Yeah, I think it's going to be this view. Okay, top down. Just grab that and rotate it out. Grab those two, zoom out here. Rotate it. And where are you? Here we are. Okay. Now, okay. Yeah, we kind of want that. That. Okay. I think that's everything except for the door, which I think I found turned on, didn't look right, and turned off. Yeah, that door doesn't quite look right. Hmm. No, it does look like it's in the right spot when I look at the wireframe. Okay. Now I need to find this wall, turn it off. Ah, there we are. And there's another box I need to turn on. Okay, rope, lamp, flower box, front wall, green floor, lights. See it there. Pitches in these boxes here. There it is. Okay. Let's back to camera view. Change this over to this one. Yeah, I remember having a nice clear render slash, no, not render, but screenshot of this view here. Because I was able to see the front of the box, which has a heart and stuff on it. Okay. So there we go. Grab this, and why don't we switch back over to shading? And why don't we actually switch this one over to that one? Yeah, I had a much better view of this direction. I don't. Oh. Hi, Sasame-chan. Yeah, I'm here today. This is the off week, or on week? On week. Yeah, on week for Tuesdays. Because it's next week. I think next week I'll actually be on Tuesdays as well, because that's the switch over for my appointment stuff. Let me look here. Yeah, next week I will be not streaming on Wednesday the 9th. But this week is the week where I stream both days. Huh. So today I'm working on setting up more, setting up more shading. There's the words I was looking for. Okay, actually I want to work on this. Seeing as I have this here, so I can actually grab shaders from another wall. So I'm going to grab that one. Click back on this one. Go down here. Paste. Zoom out until I find it. Grab it, bring it down here. And I will actually delete that, grab that here, put this into here, and then put this here. Make that a single user and call this wall. There we go. Excuse me. Okay. So I don't know if you probably weren't here when I was mentioning this, but in the old version of Blender, I could actually have a light source just isolate. I should say I could have an object isolate one light source for itself. So I could actually have, let's say, a light source like right about here in the room to duplicate how the light is behaved on this, but it also made it so the shading up here didn't do right. So I could actually say that the walls only get light from this source, but the roof could get a light from a different source. But I haven't found that function in this version of Blender. Okay. Hmm. There's molding right here, but in other shots that show this angle, I don't think this molding's there. Hmm. That's me debating whether or not I should actually include um, this molding, because I'm trying to like focus my resources on my time resource on certain things. Hmm. Okay, so now I'm gonna start work on. Oh yeah, that wouldn't show up down here because it's a light I have selected. Okay, grab that. Okay, I'm gonna rotate this. Should go to the box here and grab its shader. Go here. Paste in this shader. Hit that. And rename this one to brown box. Dink. Yep. Dink and dink. Then boom. There we go. Okay. Let's go into here and tweak this a little bit. Yeah. I also remember this being a problem. I actually had a separate light source just for this chest because of the way it is lit in this shot here. Um, the light is like very close to the ground. So if I grab this light and bring it down, yeah, so if I bring the light down so it matches the light here, notice how much lower the actual light source itself is in the shot and how it now matches all the lighting that's set up in this scene. So the light in this scene is not coming from the lantern. I think I even moved it slightly towards the camera itself. Okay, so that's set up there. Now I'm going to go back to the wall. I'm going to actually copy that one and click on this. Ah, yeah, this is the nodes from the original setup way back in 2.78. Since the nodes, for some reason, they keep the nodes in the interface even though they upgrade the nodes. So that's kind of interesting. Maybe it's for backwards compatibility. But I don't need them anymore, so I'm just going to delete them. Okay, and now I'm going to actually stay zoomed out and paste in that. This right here. Click single user. Let's rename this to door molding, maybe? I'm gonna go with door molding. Door frame. Let's go with frame. Easier for me to spell too. Okay. Dunk, dunk, and do. There we go. Okay. So, looking over here, I am going to need to do some tweaking in the shader. Yeah, let's lighten it up a little bit here. Okay. Okay, actually, I'm going to put this back down to 1 here. Okay. Almost there. One more undo. Okay, now we're going to go over here and actually tweak this. Okay, that feels better. Actually, let's take this down to 9 point. So it's 1, so it's actually 0 0.90, I said, brain. Okay, that's still a little much, so let's add another 9 to this. Not that way. 1, nope, 0.99. Okay, that feels closer. Okay. Wonder, I'm gonna put this back to there. And let's actually try decreasing the value and see if that's closer. That's closer on this one. Okay. Let's go with one more here. Yeah, that's what we're going for. Okay. Now let's slide this back over here and actually look at the shading. Yeah, I need to put the shading on this one too. This. Let's move. Let's put this back to here. Go over to here. Copy that. Go back to here. Move this over. Paste in. Okay, I copied the wrong thing. That's easy fix. Go back over here. Do this. Make sure the right thing's highlighted. Copy. Back, pop back over the box. Okay, that feels better. Okay, now let's look at the Sami-chan. You have added a lot of details I would not, but I would have done the molding but left off the wood grain texture of the walls. Maybe the light is from the joy and love the CMC have for each other? Maybe. It's cartoon physics here, so who knows? Okay, so now I also need to add the here. So I'm actually going to grab the doors lighting node here and click, I should say the door frames lighting node here, and put this in here, make this a single user, and call this just door. There we go. I mean, in the My Little Pony world, friendship is literally an energy source. So it could quite easily be used to light a room. Ah. Okay. I don't need to do any special shading on the door handle, I believe, so I can just add an add an RGB, duplicate the color here, and just do that. So now it's a flat color in the image because it doesn't need to have shading. I've never seen it change color based on lighting. Uh, okay. I wonder. Let's add as an input camera data. View. I wonder what happens if I do that. Does that. That does seem to affect. Okay. Yep, that affects that, but it doesn't quite do what I want it to do. Okay. Now, what was I looking at? Okay. Let's see what view distance gets us. I can only imagine if you did other rooms, but I do have a list of rooms I would love to see analyzed and recreated. Yeah, I could do that eventually when I'm done with this. But right now, I am just putting this together and getting the lights reset up on it. Okay. Okay, I'm going to actually grab this from here and go over to this and paste it in. Make it a single user and rename it to ladder. Excuse me. Excuse me. A lot of burping for me today. Okay. Because in the older version of Blender where I could put light sources per object, this ladder was actually lit by a single spotlight because that was the best way to duplicate the fact that it's actually highlighted from the front, not from the side. Like if it's highlighted from the side, you actually see the sides lit up and lit from the back by this lantern. There is so much individual lighting per object going on in the reference shots that it's kind of crazy. Okay. And I think I need to actually move the camera back a little bit. Okay, let's go back to mastering. Grab the camera. Yeah, because that's how far back the camera is to get everything in shot like this. But you also get the other objects like the table and this other box. So to duplicate shots from the show, you have to do some weird tweaking because like in the reference shot I remember building my shot from, the CMC weren't in it. This chair wasn't in it. You couldn't see this table, and you couldn't see this box. And I have no idea where that reference shot is. I cannot find it anywhere on my hard drives. I have a great search program for that, and I can't find it. I can't find it online anymore because whenever I search for CMC interiors, I get the shot I made and all other shots, but not the one shot I used as a reference. And I'm like, okay. So I think that's everything now has the proper shader turned on. So I think we're good with the inside. Is this the view I want? Nope. Yeah, that's the view I was looking for. Now let's turn this to here. So as you can see, the outside of the CMC Clubhouse does not have a lot going on for it right now. Okay, so what I am going to do here is I used to have a camera rigged up so it matched the reference shot of the outside of the CMC Clubhouse. And that's what I should really do. I should really duplicate this camera setup so I can yeah, it kind of does. Especially when you have a wall missing. Okay, and what's this? Oh, that's a texture error. It's like, what? What is that? What is that? Well, with toy sets, they really have to like tweak it to one, make it safe, or safer. They have to make it so it can easily be taken apart. Um, they have to also factor in how much materials they want to use per playset, um, how big the actual figurines they've manufactured are already. If they haven't, if the figurines were made first, they have to figure out how to match the size and scale. And sometimes they have to overscale things to make it so the objects fit better. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff to make a playset match the show. Um, okay. So yeah, it's kind of neat just looking at the inside once you're all done and set. Okay, so got that, got that. Let's go back to shading. Zoom out here. Yeah, all this has is two materials on it. Okay, that's interesting. This deck has the same wall material as which wall? This wall. That's interesting. Um okay. Let's flip this here. Is it this one? I think it's this view here. One way to find out is do this. Let's let's see, which wall is that wall called? Wall 2. The texture's right. Okay. Right wall. Nope. That's the one we want. Okay, that's interesting. Actually, let's select everything here. Yeah, that's interesting. The deck is assigned that texture, but none of the give me a second here. Faces slash polygons are assigned to any part of the texture, really. So that's interesting. Okay, that is all sorts of weird. um, Okie dokie. Let's see. Well, let's change this to our outside reference shot. If I still actually have it in here, because things keep disappearing on me. Okay. Yeah, I don't actually have that shot in the file anymore. That is so annoying and weird. Why does the stuff I bring into here keep disappearing? It's only these particular images. Because I brought this in to the program. Okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah. See, I had this spotlight to highlight the ladder. Okay, so I can actually find, I have a sunlight somewhere that I'm going to turn back on. So things are lit up better. Okay. Don't mind me, I'm just playing with light. I mean, it's in the name and everything. You know, Lux. Just slowly turning up. Until I start seeing stuff. There we are. Actually, let's just make this 14. And that should give us a proper light setup. Okay. Now what do these other things do? Okay, so that does that. And that does that. What does this do? Does something right here. I'm not quite sure what that thing is. Okay. That seems to do that, whatever that is. Let's see. I'm just going to turn this down and see what happens to these shadows. I do this. Okay, those shadows get more refined. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, it starts to disappear back there. I wonder what's up with that. Hmm, interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set this back to 14. Gonna leave that at 100. What's this? Okay, let's see. Read that before. If you have kids, would one be named Luxo Jr., as in the small light from Pixar? I probably don't know. I have like lots of names. Now that I like started thinking about that again, it would probably be Ray. I always have characters with light in the name somewhere. Light or dark? Because I like that contrast. Okay. So now that light is set up. Time to start like working on things here. So what I'm going to do with this is D D D D D. I also need to get a further out shot of the clubhouse. I have one, but I need a further away shot so I can, because I know there's more to this. There's like two um ladders, not ladders, walkways. So what I'm going to do here is, this is kind of wonky that it has both of these assigned to it. That's interesting. Wall actually is assigned to 3 objects. I wish there was an easy way for me to like find out which objects it was assigned to. Because I know this one, it's supposed to be assigned to. and that's pretty much it. But it's assigned to 3 different objects. So here, and let's try. Nope, window box has its own. Excuse me. That has its own. That has its own. That's the front wall. That's the left wall. That's that. Here, here. Not the roof. Okay. Wish it was easy to just like right click on material and say where it is. Because I can see that it's connected to 3 objects. I just can't see which 3 objects it's connected to. Hmm. D. Okay, I'm just gonna click on that one and remove material slot. Remove selected material slot. So yeah, since I don't need that, I'm gonna hit this. Okay. There we go. Now, let's play around here. Okay. Also, I'm going to click on the sunlight here. And what happens if you do a point light? Well, one, it's not bright enough. Let's set this to 100 and see. Nope. 200. Not quite. Let's try 1,000 and see what we get. Okay. That's interesting here. I bet you it's that. So why don't we set this back to 100 and make the radius 1,000. Okay. How about 100? 10. There it is. Okay. Okay. Let's take this back to 1,000 and see what happens here. Okay. Let's put the radius of 1. Okay. So that's what gives us that. Okay, so that's not gonna work. So let's go back to, let's see, undo history and okay. So, okay. I'm gonna click on that undo slot and see where it is. Okay. Let's do the undo history again. Put it back to there. Okay, I think back to here. And put that there. And then we can turn it back to sun, and there we go. Now let's grab the sunlight and okay. Okay, so let's up this distance to 100 and zoom out. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. The way the shadow's reacting is it seems to be reacting to where the camera is, and it's like recalculating the shadow based on that. Okay, that's interesting here. But since we're here, let's work on something here by going here. Let's see. I think I can just grab the shader from the lamp. Click on this, paste in that, make it a single user, and we'll call this porch. Yeah, porch. Okay, and we'll add in an RGB here. Make it that color. Input, input, slide that over there, and boom. Okay. That's interesting there. Okay, so why don't do this, and was it color? Yeah, put that there. And let's just directly input that to there. Put this up to the side. You know, something else I can actually do is let's see here. Can I actually do that? And pop back out. And copy, paste. And I can actually grab this and tell it to actually pick that as this, and I can drop that right into there. And there I have control over specifically what color the shadow will be, because I can make this any color I want. So I can also make it this color. And that color. There we go. Okay. So we've got that all figured out. And I can actually do that real quick. Oh, I can keep this because I can pull the colors from it. So I'm going to do this. Go over here. Grab this. Go back to that. Paste that in. Get a single. And name this flower. Pot. Okay. Huh. And we want to add Is that curiosity? Can I like get anything from that? No. Okay. So we're gonna add this. Gonna move this over here, move this over here. And that over there, so it's out of the way. Grab this. That right there. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And there we go. Yep, that looks good. Okay. Let's click on this. And let's see. Whew, excuse me. Okay, so looking for the front wall. Oh, I can just type it in. Okay. That's a little stretched. Oh well. Okay. Now let's do this and okay, that's interesting. That says it's assigned to brown, but it's black here, which is interesting. Okay, well, let's grab the light. Okay, so it's a factor of the light. That's why it's black. Okay. So I am going to have to do something about that because it's a much lighter color. Nice thing is, I can change stuff like that. I can add stuff to the texture. Okay. Oh, I know something I can do here. Also unselect, say undo, undo. There we go. Click back on this. Oh. Go back to this one. Copy that. Go here. And let's paste that in. Get a single user and call this outer door. Excuse me. Frame. And move this over here. I'm gonna put this just in that. Okay. Add color. Copy, paste, drag it down here. Dink and don't. And here. And here. Do. Okay. Okay, just to be on the safe side, let's... Yeah, that's not affecting what it should. Okay. How about this one? Yeah, that changes. D. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be affecting that much. Okay. Oh, that's why. Okay. Let's see here. What happens if I just do that? Okay, that does what it's supposed to do. Okay. Let's see. What would you do if you had to create a room that had no reference? Like either room you made up or like either a room you made up or a room that belongs to an existing character that we have not seen before or saw before. Or saw that room, I should say. Um well, I would actually still use references. I would use real world references, but then I would also use My Little Pony references to build the room from those pieces and how I think those pieces would look inside My Little Pony universe based on certain objects. Like, oh, telephones usually look like this. Um, a lamppost usually looks like this. They seem to use a lot of wooden objects and stone objects, so I will use stone and wood references, and I will use references from the show to see what stone and wood looks like in that universe. And I would build the room from all those pieces together to match whoever I was building the room for. Or if it's more of a utility room, like a storage closet or a garage or a barn, I would use kind of references like that. So I would still use references. I would just wouldn't use a reference for a particular room from the show. I would use multiple different rooms and multiple different areas to find out, oh, so that's how this object looks like. And then I would take that object, build it, and put it in that room. And I would look at, like, oh, closets in this world look like this. So based on closets I've seen in the real world, I can build a new one based on how those look. So stuff like that. Okay. So I think I'm gonna set up one more shader today. Or two, depending on how easy the other shaders come out. Okay, so we're gonna go back to this one here. And why don't I actually copy these two colors too? So we're gonna copy that, go to that, paste, move the whole thing over here, this over here, put that on a single use and call these support beams. Is it EA or EE for beams? I'm gonna go with EE. Okay, drop that into there. And click here and here. Okay. Okay. That looks good. And let's actually click on this one. This one also has two materials. This is an old one that doesn't use note. It's not set to nodes. Okay, so we don't actually need that one. So I'm gonna hit minus on that. Gonna zoom in here, actually zoom out, and let's paste in what we have. Hmm. Okay, so we're going to need let's go with that as our midtone, and we're going to pick this as our shadow. Set that as a single user and call this outside walkway, sidewalk, steps. I'm going to go with steps. Okay. And as usual, it has its own lighting source. Okay. Because that actually looks pretty good. Especially if I grab this light and move it lower. You can actually see the shadows behave like they do up here. Okay, undo that. it's something else I'm actually going to undo because I think I know why I had certain things set up the way they were. So if I said show me Lux's room or show me Babseed's room, you would take existing parts and mix them up? Kind of. I would look at existing parts to see how things look, but then I would build objects based on that look. I wouldn't duplicate an object unless that specific object I thought would work really well for that character, or I thought it would be a nice reference for the people who are looking at the image. But for Lex's room, there would probably be a paint easel in there. So I would look at what painting easels look like in our world. I would also look at the reference because I'm pretty sure there's several painting easels that have been seen in the show. So I would find those images of painting easels in the show and look at them and look at real world painting easels and go, well, he would probably have this type. And it would probably be built out of wood because of the materials I've seen used in MLP. Um, and it would look like this. Canvases are usually shown like this in the MLP world. And basically look at how materials behave inside of that toon world and then build something based on that. I always reference bedrooms on Google. Like for Lux, I would Google artist room. Yeah, that's one of the things I would do as well. I would like Google artist rooms. I would Google studios, art studios. I would probably also look up galleries because he might have a gallery room in his house that he shows off his own art. Um, Stuff like that. I would think about the character. I think about how active they are, how inactive they are. Are they a person to clean their room? Are they an organizer? Um, just to let you know, Lux would probably have things laying out everywhere. There would be dry paints in corners. There would be, let's see, pallets with dried paint on them that he hasn't bothered to clean. Um, there'd be unfinished paintings in certain parts of his, like a storage room in his house. He would not be a very super organized person. Okay, so I think that's about it for today. I'm just gonna undo this a little bit further back and do something because let's look at the history again. Attach patient clipboard, remove material slot. Let's go back to that one because that's the one I want to. There we go. Because I have a feeling this material is set. Oh, okay, it's actually set to just the corners. But I can use this. I can use this. I don't need to be set there anymore, so let's deselect. Let's see which this one sign. Oop. Okay. So yeah, that's set to everything else. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to reassign things. Hmm. Da-da-da. What I made when I made a Shutterbugs room, I just needed simple background for the review, so I just hung up episode stills so on a flat background. But I was but if I was being serious, there would be a camera and stuff. Shutterbug can exist in MLP, or would the or the world where MLP is shown. Yeah, because they had cameras. They actually had some pretty nice ones. Um, okay, so what we're gonna do here is so I can assign stuff to that. So what I'll do is let's see, did I grab the right thing? Whoa, okay. That's an interesting little things you find out about your models. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Let's switch this over to wireframe. Aha. So that's what I did. Okay, let's highlight all of that. And okay, so there's that. Okay. Uh, ah, I can see that being a thing. Okay, so I need to somehow temporarily make it so that's not selected. Okay, can I lock something? Can I lock an edge so it can't be selected? Okay, edge, cut, slide, offset. Oh wait, I can actually do this, and then I can go to this, and wait, select. Select similar by trait links. There we go. And if I do the same, there we go. Okay. So I will assign that. Then I can click on this and go select linked. Then I can click on this one and hit assign to that. And now I can do this. And yep. Okay, let's now switch it back to the render. There we go. Okay. And now we're going to go use node. Actually, let's undo that. Because we lost our color here when we hit use node. So what I'm going to do is, okay, I will click on that one. I will paste in this setup. Oop. this over here. Excuse me. Excuse me. Get that set up. I'm actually going to add another color node. Actually, don't need that because I just realized when I'm going to be doing that. And two, I can click on this here, hit use node. I'm not going to be needing this. I can actually delete that and paste this in, pull this over, click here, click there. I can get rid of this color node and actually have this one go into here. Connect this up to here. Okay, and I'm actually going to make this single user and base. Need to zoom in so I can see the letters. Base. Steps. Okay, click back on this. Make that a single user. And call this outdoor steps. There we go. Okay, that's all set. Okay, now to read the chat room and start wrapping things up for this stream. Oh yes, the all-important, I'm going to click the save button first. Save. Okay, now, let's start up at the top here. Shutterbug can exist in the... I originally wanted to be Shutterfly, since that's what I use to to CL Fluttershy, but Shutterfly is a real-world company. Yep, pictures. They're a what's the term? Not reference. Stock photo company, I believe. But Fluttershy is a real-world company. MLP took me a few months to get all of the names down. Once you draw someone a few times, you learn their name. I was like that for MLP and Loud House. Drawing things for the first time can be hard, but you sort of have to just do it. And sometimes I'll be completely wrong and then one day see details I was missing. Honest feedback is important too. Too negative or too positive a review won't be helpful. Yeah. Basically just be honest with the review. You don't have to put any feelings into it. You can say how it makes you feel, but you shouldn't put feelings into the actual technical parts of the review. Like, and if it's an opinion on something, you should clearly state that it's opinion. Like, I feel like these colors are too dark. Not, these colors are too dark. Because a lot of things are subjective in art. But if you are going for accuracy of duplicating something, then you can give specifics, like the leg here is too short for the reference you're using. The color tones don't match your reference image. So stuff like that. Also, if you're going for realistic lighting in your shot or semi-realistic lighting in your shot, you could technically you could give technical pointers on that, like based on where you have your light source in the image, this highlight is wrong. It's not shining off of the correct part of the object based on where the light source is. Um, and you also need to, and when you word stuff like that, you have to be kind of careful and not make them sound accusatory or attacking the person. Because you're not trying to attack them, you're just saying, well, here's this, and based off of my experience with lighting sources and looking at your reference shot, the highlight is in the wrong location. Mm. I would have actually just asked them, why do you think a monkey could do better? Um, is it because it's simple or what? Please tell me why you think a monkey could do better. Because of techniques I've learned over time, I've learned how to like diffuse certain things, and I just noticed something in the reference image here. Um, for a second there, I thought they actually cut it off, and I think they may actually have, like, the way this angle is set up there, it's completely chopped off, uh, not in the way it would look if it was a real board, because a real board would actually come up, go straight across, and then go down. That's interesting. Huh. Okay, well, thank you for talking with me, Sami Chan. Thank you for showing up. Thank you all for showing up later on the on demand. Nice comment, Sami Chan. Oh, like I said, thank you all for joining me. Thank you for joining me on this journey of learning how to work with Blender again, learning how to get lighting sources set up the way I do, learning how to do the um, give me a second here, shaders. If you want to watch other stuff in this channel that's not so technical and having to deal with building art, and you just want to watch me draw it, you can look at any of our Thoughts On series, because that's all just a time lapse of me drawing something. Yes, thank you, Sasame-chan. Or remember to like the video, share, um, links, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Yeah, yeah, thanks, Sasame-chan. Like, support the videos, give Lux money. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for shilling for me when I don't have to shill for myself. But I really do appreciate any money you could give. It would help a lot. Um, but if you can't support with money, there's always sharing the videos. There's always just watching them, turning on a playlist, and walking away will work perfectly fine. Because playlists are actually one of the best ways to support a channel, because Google checks to see if you've watched other videos on the same channel. And the more videos you watch on the same channel, Google pushes that channel up in the algorithm, because more people are watching continuous content from that channel. So that's like one of the best ways to help this channel. If you don't have any money, just turn on a playlist and like walk away. Um, Maybe come back and interact with the website a little bit, because that might help too. Liking any videos you like listening to also helps. Sharing, subscribing, as they say, smash that subscribe button. It's always appreciated. Give me a striped hat and a striped vest, and I'll chill in a song. Yeah, which is quite appropriate for an MLP stream, for an MLP themed stream. Uh, so as always, my outros are really long. Thank you for everything. You all have a wonderful time wherever you are, and bye. I need to come up with a better way to end these videos. Bye bye.